You're now watching Winter Nightwolf Live, a Cliff Dive production.
OCO and greetings. I'm Winter Nightwolf, and this is Winter Nightwolf Live. We got some very, very talented and interesting guests with us tonight. And I would like to take this time to introduce them to you. First of all, and I got my co-host, she's waving at me. How you doing, Sandra? And good evening to you too, Mia Shelton. So let's start with somebody I've known for a long time. Her name is PURA FE. And I think anybody out there that's involved with or have anything to do with Indian country know her. PURA FE, are you with me?
I'm here.
How you doing, sweetheart? It's good to see you.
It's good to see you too.
Hey, PURA FE.
How are you?
Well, thank you. It's good to see you.
Good to see you too.
Let's do this.
Okay.
PURA FE, I know you, but I want you to tell us who you are. You don't know?
I'm a part of this earth, that's for sure. So I'm Tuscarora and Taino and a whole bunch of other things. So that just means all my ancestors. My mom's people are from North Carolina. My father's people are from Puerto Rico.
Okay. And you are a great performing artist. Now, I'm talking about you. You are the originator of that very famous group called Eulalie. And I would like for you to do us a favor.
Okay.
Would you play us a song or just a few bars of one of your songs?
Sure.
Throw the beautiful voice in there too.
And that voice too. Throw that voice in there too.
Okay. So, all right. I'm just going to do something real quick on my looper.
Okay.
Way on, way on, way on, way on. We all way down, way down, way down, way down, way down, way down. Yo, oh, way on, way down, way down, way down. Way we are way down, way down, way down, way down, way down, way down. Oh, way on, way down, way down, way down. We are way down, way down, way down, way down, way down, way down, way down. Yo.
Thank you. Thank you.
That Tuscarora spirit.
There you go. Okay. Let's see. How about Steve Hooks? YUMI Steve Hooks. YUMI Steve Hooks is from Oklahoma. He's Muskogee Creek in Cherokee. And he's also one of my real good friends for many, many years. Tell us about you, Yummy. We can't hear him. Is he muted?
Am I muted? Can you hear me now?
I can
We
hear
can
you
hear you.
now.
Oh,
But before you start, I need to let everybody know what Yummy means. Yummy is sunshine bringer, right? From your
That's
tribal nation.
that's right. Yeah, yeah. Sunshine, one who brings enlightenment, they say. You know, yeah. I've been playing music all my life, basically, and you know, my belief is that we musicians, we real musicians, are messengers of the universe. You know, so that's how we bring it. You know, and we help to bring that message forth and bring the goodness of the earth.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah.
So Yummy, would you honor us with some of your music?
I'll give you a little something.
Okay, that's all I want is a little something.
They come to us in our place of peace and ask us why we don't sell them a piece of our sky. They come to us in our place of power and tell us to go from the east for a lasting peace. But their peace is a piece of war for our land, our hearts, and our home. And once they have taken what they need, we cannot roam our land. And a trail of tears becomes our home.
Oh, thank you so much.
All right.
Next
Oh,
up on the chopping block is somebody
Chopping
that I
block.
admire her talent. I admire her ability to thump that bass. Emily MUSOLINO.
Hey, how y'all doing?
Hey, how you doing, sweetheart?
I can't
Emily.
complain. I'm just
can't
honored to
hear
be on
you.
this panel. Can you hear me? Hello?
No.
You can't hear me?
A little low, but we can hear you.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Hold on one second.
So, Emily, where are you from?
So I'm from Durham, North Carolina.
Okay.
I'm a singer-songwriter, and I was opening for a band called Dark Water Rising several years ago, and yeah, much love to them. I just got to see them. They opened a music venue down in Pembroke called Credentials, so I finally got to see them. I had quit the band in 2017. It was just becoming too hard to juggle my solo career and being at the band at the same time, you know. But I love them so very much, and I got to play so many amazing shows and meet so many incredible musicians like PURA FE. And yeah, and guitar is my main instrument, but a lot of people don't really realize that I play bass because I mostly just do sessions. I don't really like gig on bass, so I wanted to showcase that I can do that as well.
Okay.
Wonderful.
Go for it.
All right, I'll do a little something. I thought we had a connection. You know you got it going on. wasting it. With your amber eyes, got me feeling lit. And I just burn, 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 burn. I just burn, 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 burn. I just burn, 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 burning up inside. I just burn, 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 burn. Just a little sample.
Yeah, yeah.
Work it out, Emily. Woo!
Hey, Emily,
Yeah.
I got something to say to you. You
What?
bad girl.
Thank you, shucks.
For sure.
Okay. And now we got another one of my brothers. My brother from another mother. His name is Joel Siegel. And I can tell you all about Joel. Where is he? Is he here? Joel Siegel? There he is.
Hello.
Yeah. Joel Siegel and I have been friends for over 25 years. Joel Siegel, he's a great bass player, but he's also one heck of a lawyer. He was Congressman John Conyers' legal legislative advisor, assistant, or whatever you want to name it, for his entirety in Congress. Joel Siegel has, he's just, I'll let him talk. Come on, Joel, talk to me. What's up?
I also poured his coffee.
You what?
I used to get him hot chocolate in the morning. Pura Fe, she almost made me cry. It takes a lot for an artist to make me cry, but I felt her. YUMI, it's very hard to play the bass and then sing at the same time. I can't do it. Paul McCartney can do it and Larry Graham, but I can't do it. That was really, really incredible. And Emily, I'm from Charlotte, so hello, Durham.
Hey.
I've been a professional bass player since I was 17. I was on the road for about 4 years. I played mainly funk, R&B. Then I played, whatever would make money, top 40. And then I became a studio musician, and then I became a recording artist. And I just came out with a CD about a year ago. And music does bring us all together. I probably practice about 4 hours a day. I got another CD about to come out. And a lot of times I'll be on these progressive social justice calls. And I'm going to tell a secret. I put it on mute a lot of times, and I play all the way through it.
Okay, well, would you play us something now?
Shall I lay down some
Not to mention that you played with Bono.
Yeah, I did. I was really fortunate to did a big project with Bono and Alicia Keys, Justin Timberlake on global HIV/AIDS. I was just in the studio. It was my project, but I couldn't believe that I was sitting right next to him. I didn't talk to him. I was too scared. But I just couldn't. I was too scared. But I'll play a little funk,
Somebody was holding up a sign that said, "Play that funky music, white boy." I gotta let you know something. Joel ain't white. Joel is from the tribal community out of Israel. And he's my friend. Anybody got a problem with that?
Joel is multi-dimensional. Joel is
I know.
multiple layered.
I'm an honorary Lumbee Indian, by the way, and I am from the tribe of Hebrew.
Uh-huh.
I'm an honorary Lumbee too. I'm not an actual.
So now-
I'm an honorary Lumbee.
We got us another great bass player who is actually the husband of my television producer, Leslie Fry. His name is SHAWN Tootsie Cox, and SHAWN is from Barbados. And SHAWN,
Hey, buddy.
how you doing, man?
How you doing, Elder? Good. Everything's good. How was everybody?
Everybody's good.
Good, good. Can you hear me well?
Well.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Sir.
Good.
I can
very good.
definitely see you, that's for sure.
Am I too close?
No, you good.
Good.
Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Wow, well, I've been kind of messing around with a couple of instruments for a long time, and then finally found my niche playing rock music and heavy rock. I've done a lot of touring in the past. I've opened up for Ozzy Osbourne, Marilyn Manson, Disturbed, Korn, Blaze Bailey, to name a few, Ace Frehley of Kiss. So it's been a nice, fun, long road. And my band Black Dawn just released an album right before COVID started. That we were kind of in the middle of touring and had to drop it, but we hope to continue soon whenever the music industry gets back to normal.
So how long have you been in the States, bro?
I'm sorry?
How long have you been in the States? You're from Barbados, right?
Oh, no, very young, very young. My parents moved here when I was very young, like 3-4 years old.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So you grew up here.
What's that?
I said you basically grew up here, right?
Yes, yeah. Yep.
Okay.
Long Islander for forever. We just recently moved to New Jersey.
Okay.
About 3 years ago. Yeah.
Okay.
And your grandmother was Portuguese, is that right?
Yes, my paternal grandmother was Portuguese. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So
Definitely.
Sharon, would you do us some honors with shining on that bass for us?
Sure. I was trying to mess around with something that I think you all may recognize. I should have quit you a long time ago. I should have quit you, pretty baby, a long time ago. I should have quit you, pretty baby, and went down to Mexico. If I had followed my first mind, if I had followed, pretty baby, my first mind, well, I'd have been gone since my second time. I should have went down when my friend come for me. Oh, I should have went down when my friend come for me. Said I was fooling around with you, baby, crying on the killing floor. God knows I should have been gone. Oh, God knows I should have been gone. And I would have been here down on the killing floor.
One thing I can say about you, Sean, you know how to make that bass walk.
Oh, come on. It's very, very hard to sing at the same time. Joel's right.
No, but it's good. It's good. It's good.
It's
So we
tough.
got somebody named Dana Hunter
That-
Williams is.
So that
Sing it,
song
John.
was originally
Sing it.
by somebody said it, I think.
Mhm.
Yes, that was a Howlin' Wolf song
Yeah.
made
Exactly.
popular by Mr. Jimi Hendrix. That's when it was introduced to me.
And Jimi Hendrix was what? He was
Cherokee.
what do you got?
Well,
He
I
was
think Howlin' Wolf's
Cherokee.
mother
Yeah,
was
Jimi Hendrix was Cherokee.
right, and Howlin' Wolf was Choctaw, correct? Or his mother was.
Exactly.
Right.
So let me pose a question to all of you, and let's start with Pura Fe, then Joel Siegel, Emily. Then we're going to also go to YUMI, and then SHAWN. All of you have been on the road as musicians, right? So I guess that made you victims of the road. I've been on the road too. But what was your most memorable experiences on the road? Starting with you, Pura Fe.
On the road, my most memorable. That is too many. My goodness.
Yeah, that's way too hard. Of a
That's a
question.
big, vast question. Well, I do remember, for some reason, this just flashed up in my head. As my cousin and I, Jen, when we went to Morocco, and they put us. It was the Fez festival, and they put us in this huge plaza, and there was just people everywhere, and they didn't know who we were or what we were about to do. And we sat down, we pulled out our hand drums, and we started playing. And then as soon as we started to sing, the whole audience jumped up and screamed, yeah! And it scared the crap. It was really frightening. It was really loud and overwhelming, and it was awesome. So that's
that
one
was
of
a
my
good
memories.
scream, right?
Yeah, that was yeah. They were
really
like,
excited.
yeah, yeah. Anyway, that's the first thing I
So
just
you
remember.
didn't nobody wet their pants or anything like that.
No.
It was just
No, it was just like whoa, like whoa, and they were just jumping and dancing, and it was pretty cool. It was a very
wow.
different audience. than I was
Well,
used
if that
to.
ever happens again, you'll be ready for it.
Yeah. Yeah. That's one of my.
Awesome. Thank you, Pura Fe.
Mm-hmm.
So I think who were we going to go to next, Jay? Yummy.
You want to
Let's
go ahead?
ask Yummy.
Oh, okay, Emily.
Yes. Okay, so
Your most memorable experience on the road.
so my most memorable experience was it was January 2017, I think, right after the or 2016, right after the inauguration of Trump, and Darkwater Rising had a gig at the Smithsonian Museum for the American Indian at right in the middle of Washington, D.C. And so we played this gig, and there was nobody in the building because outside there was millions of people, like hundreds of thousands of people at the Women's March in protest. So we played this gig, and it was like nobody was they couldn't get in, they couldn't physically get to the building, but we could see them because it was all glass walls. So there's just like all these people marching outside, and Janelle Monáe was there, and she did this amazing song called Hell You Talking About, and it was just such a surreal type of day. So I guess that's probably my most memorable moment.
For sure.
I remember that year. I was in DC as well, but I wasn't in the museum.
It was really weird. It was like being in a fishbowl.
Could they hear you? They could see you, but could they hear you?
No, they couldn't hear us because it was like chaos outside.
Oh my goodness.
It was very weird. I was like, okay. I mean, we got this amazing stage and amazing sound, and it sounded great in there, but nobody could get in because there was so many protesters outside the building.
Mm.
Wow. Okay, Joel Siegel, you're up.
Boy, I had so many. I was sort of like a nerd scholar dude, academic who, when I went on the road, I did not know what to expect, but I lived with 12 musicians in Atlanta, Georgia, in a house that had holes in it, and they kind of taught me the rules of the road. But I remember I was playing in Memphis, Tennessee, and I wanted to play some jazz funk, so I got off the gig and I went to this place called Blues Alley in Memphis, and there was African-American vocalist, and I'd heard about her when I was in Memphis, and I introduced myself and I said, can I sit in? I want to play Mr. Magic from Grover, Washington. She said, welcome to Memphis, baby. And she gave me a kiss. And so I got up there and I started playing Mr. Magic. And at the end of it, I went into Parliament Funkadelic Flashlight. And the band was not expecting someone of my hue to play Flashlight.
Down.
And the drummer, he was bad, man. He pulled out his stick, like, look at the audience, and everyone was dancing. And I was like, wow, this is really, really cool. So that's the best experience. Now, the worst experience that I had was I was playing in Fayetteville, and I used to dance after each set because I wanted to hear the music and dance to it and feel the rhythm, because that helped me as a bass player to hear what the music was and dance to it. And there was an African-American woman that I danced with, and the club owner came up to me. He pulled out a knife. He said, if you ever dance with a black woman again, I'm going to fire the band. And I said, you lost the Civil War. And he started cleaning his fingernails with his knife. And I said, okay, no problem, man. I won't do that. But the next set, I went ahead and did it anyway. I'm not going to tell you what happened after that, but that I really saw, institutional racism a lot. And it was very upsetting, but it was very illuminating to see the real world. But it was a 4-year party. Okay. It was a blast. Just being an artist every night, getting up there and performing and playing the bass and locking in with that drummer and playing that funk or rock and roll. There was nothing like it. There never will be anything like it. I'm just lucky that I got to do it.
Wow. Mm-hmm. And Joel, you need to mention something about your activist work too.
Okay.
You have been fighting for people's civil rights and human rights for years. And I'm going to let you know something about this guy. He don't like to talk about what he's done, but I'm going to expose him now. The African AIDS bill, Joel Siegel wrote that. The Medicare for All bill, he wrote that. And I can just continue to name them on and on and on, But this
Climate Solutions Executive Director.
Oh yeah.
Promotes.
We'll come back and talk about that a little later. Right now, I need to get to these other very talented people.
Thank you.
Eeny, meeny, miny, mo. YUMI Steve Hooks.
Hey.
Your experience on the road that you never will forget.
Experience on the road that you never will forget. It's like a million of those, right? Which one can you tell? Is the
yeah, just the ones you can tell.
I'm gonna tell you something. There's a couple that really I remember that they kind of stick out to me. One was while I was on tour with Babatunde Olatunji and Della Flack, Roberta Flack's sister. And we toured over and we toured all over the States, but we went to, he took me over to Africa, to Senegal. And we toured all around and we were playing at a particular place. But one day we were heading out and it was such a beautiful tour because like everywhere we went, they had this bus that this radio station who sponsored us, we were in, and these big banners across the street, you know, everywhere we were traveling. So everyone knew us and we were like celebrities, big time, like, whoa, you know. But anyway, he said, we're going to play for this, we're going to this village to play for some children today. So we got there, it was early in the day and probably like, you know, mid-morning or whatever. But, you know, and there was like a few children and the children were coming and they kept saying, well, the children are going to come. The children are going to come. And man, by the time we played that afternoon, it was like just this sea of children, beautiful, just their bright eyes and their smiles. And I just, that's been one of my most memorable experiences. And that I, you know, that on the road that I remember. I think probably one, another one was maybe traveling that Chitlin circuit, and I would do a lot of different tasks. I do a lot of things, you know, guitar tag, aside from performing, guitar tag, light, sound, whatever it's called for. But I think I was on the road with, I was on the bus with Starr, which is pretty interesting. And just little things like being at a stop, you know, and you get off, you get something, and when you come back out, you're down in the middle of, you know, East Jalippi, Alabama, somewhere, you know, because we would do all these colleges and stuff, and come out, and the bus is actually pulling out of the lot, and you got to run down. You're banging on the side of the bus, you know, that kind of thing. But you know, there's a million stories, yeah, and I know we all have them. But that's something else, you know. Those
Yeah,
kind of little
Love Star Point.
and I'll tell you something about Yumi too, because I know these people. Yumi's uncle, I'm gonna tell it, Yumi, is Robert Hooks, the great actor.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And those of you that are old enough to remember Marvin Gaye, he wrote the sound score for a movie called Trouble Man.
Oh yeah.
And Trouble Man, Robert Hooks, is Yumi's uncle.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's you know, it's an honor to have my Uncle Bobby, as I call him, you know? And come from a family of, you know, my mother would dance professionally, and she was a model, jet centerfold back in the day, you know. My dad sang, and he was singing along those times when, like when Berta Flack first came out and stuff, you know, and they were all singing out. But yeah, absolutely, you know, those, you know, such great, you know, feel honored to, you know, not just be here amongst you guys, but, you know, when I look at family connections and things, it's wonderful. It's been a wonderful experience, you know.
And the road is still laid out. So you've got a long way to go down that road.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Hey, you know, I was teaching some courses at a tribal college up in Montana, out on the Salem reservation, and down in Polson, there's a club called the Wolf Den, and the Wolf Den is one of them kind of places where you don't go in there unless, you know, like mostly the people that go in there are what you call scrappers. You know what I'm saying? Those knuckles are red. You know what I'm saying? They have a screen up across the stage because stuff was flying, you know?
Like that.
The Wolf Den. Whoa.
Duck.
Yeah, so stay away from that club. All right, now my new I'm gonna call him my nephew. I hope you don't mind, Sean.
I don't
Sean
mind
is
at all.
a big cock.
I don't mind at all.
What is-
Well, like everyone else said, you know, we have a lot of instances of really good experiences, but the one that sticks out the most to me was that oh my goodness moment. You know, so you know, as a child, you know, listening to music and then getting into, you know, all different styles of music and falling in love with it. You know, I always had an aspiration to be a rock star since I was a little kid, you know, and, you know, I jump around the room, jump up and down off the bed, pretending I'm in Metallica at the Nassau Coliseum, playing in front of thousands of people, you know, and then my mother would come kick the door in. What are you doing up here? And I'm sitting on the bed like, oh, nothing, you know, dripping and you know, and she's just looking at me like I'm weird, you know, and that was always it was always a dream that I had, you know, and my aha moment was March 15th, 2005. A band named Slipknot was doing a stadium tour around the U.S., and they took us out with them for a couple of the dates to open the show. And there were 4 groups on that bill, and we were first. When you're playing music, of course, you all know when you're going from venue to venue, it's a lot of, you know, hurry up to get there and then you wait. You know, you got to get there by a certain time. You got to load in by a certain time, get your back line on stage by a certain time to sound check. And the next thing you know, you find yourself just kind of sitting and hanging around, waiting. So it's always, you know, fast paced. So you don't get a real big chance to, you know, really soak it all in. You know, so this particular day on March 15th in 05, we opened up the, then it was called the Conseco Fieldhouse, where the Indianapolis Pacers play. Now it's called, I think, Banker's Life or something like that. The show was sold out, 19,000 people.
Wow.
And I remember them, you know, telling us, you know, we were on, and then just coming down the tunnel and coming up the ramp to come up through the back of the stage, and then, you know, being handed my bass and then walking out, and then I don't know why, but I kind of threw my fists in the air, and, you know, the sound of all of those people screaming at the same time in unison was just, I don't know, I just felt it in my soul, you know, all the way down to my toes. And I said, you know what? You know, the kid in me that jumped around the bedroom, you know, wishing that this would happen one day, came out at that moment. It never came out before then, but at that moment, it was there. And I felt it, and that's a feeling that I will always remember, you know, forever. And then my second feeling was, oh man, once you get up here, no matter how many people are there, you can't see past the 3rd row because of the lights anyway. You know, you guys know that. You know, there's so many lights on stage that no matter how big or small the venue is, you can't see past, you know, the 3rd or 4th row of people in front of the stage anyway. True. So, you know, but it was still an amazing experience.
Thank you, bro. Let me ask you all a question. Did any of you ever meet Chick Corea?
No.
I met Chick Corea.
No, only Stanley.
Huh?
I only met Stanley, but I never met Chick.
Beautiful, probably one of the most beautiful people I've ever met. He was real into Scientology. And I got into music because of Stanley Clarke. I heard Where Have I Known You Before? And I heard Stanley Clarke. I think I was about 16, and that was it for me. I became a bass player overnight. But I heard Chick Corea, and then I met him. He was one of the most beautiful persons, down to earth, humble guy, sweet guy, you know, a complete genius. He just passed away, but I'm really lucky I got to meet him.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, me too. I think the last time I saw him was 3 years ago out at the Post Merriweather Pavilion.
I was at that show.
Yeah. Were you there too, Yummy?
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, you know, I was like maybe sitting in the front, well, not a front row. You had to bring your own lawn chairs, but I was just that close to him. And the very first thing that turned me on to him was that album that he made, The Leprechaun's Dream.
Oh wow. Yeah.
Yeah. So
Right on.
wow. I see Michael Merkenstein is on, and he says, "Love it. That moment that knows you were meant to be on that life path." And that's true. You know, we all have this moment that we know that we're doing what we should be doing, and it's such an honor. You know, I never thought that I would ever be a broadcaster. Would you all like to hear my story?
Sure.
Yeah.
Yes.
Definitely.
My baby brother graduated from the United States Naval Academy in 1976. He only lived to be 39 when he was taken out by cancer. But by the time that he was 38 years old, he became the youngest Native American lieutenant colonel in the United States Marine Corps. Now, prior to that, my pop died. That broke my heart. Then my mom died. That also broke my heart. But when we were little, we had two little sisters that died from leukemia. But when my brother came down with that cancer, that was the worst day of my life. And of course, I went to his funeral, and then they had another service for him at the chapel at Arlington National Cemetery. I went there. But my brother and I, we grew up in a house full of music. My father was one of the original Ink Spots before he lost his sight. And there was always gospel music being played in the house, Sam Cooke and Soul Stirrers and all that. But there was a song that my brother and I gravitated towards. It was called The Last Mile of the Way. And we made each other a promise when we were young guys that whichever one of us went first into spirit world, the other would be responsible for our children and making sure that everything went right for them. Well, when my brother got sick, I had enough. You know, I said, no. And I said to myself, God, why did you do this to me? I went to his funeral, and when they rolled him out into the, and put him up on that caisson, the same one they put Kennedy up on, we started down to the site that they had for him. And of course, I was in a limo. The car started, went about 5 feet, and I stopped it. I said, no, I can't do this. I got out of the car and walked behind my brother's caisson, behind the Marines, because I had to keep that promise that I would walk the last mile of the way. And that's what I did. When I got home, there was only me and my dog. The television was off, the radio was off, and I thought it was my turn to get God down on the carpet. Walking down through the house, mad, just mad, and questioning the Great Spirit. After all I've been through, why would you take my brother from me? You took my wife from me, you took my sisters from me, my mother, my father, and now I'm here all alone. And then I heard a voice, and it said, I am your father. Your mother, your dad, your sisters, your brother, and your wife. They are here with me. What more must I take from you before you do what I had anointed you to do, even before you went into your mother's womb? That was the most humbling experience. I sat down and said, I wasn't angry anymore. I said, well, what do you want me to do? He said, I have anointed you when you were in your mother's womb to speak for your people. And that's how my career started in broadcasting. There was no formal training and all this other stuff. And everything that I've done in broadcasting has been for the benefit of the people, not just Native people, but the people. Because we got historic leaders like Crazy Horse, Red Cloud. Whenever they met somebody that did not look like them, they considered them as members of the human family. And that's what we are. This whole coloration thing is crazy. This whole thing about these crazy political beliefs, that's crazy too. Because when you are put on this earth, you're put here to take care of each other. And that's what it's all about. Ain't got nothing to do with your color, nothing to do with your hair texture, or nothing else. It's all about what we can do to help each other. So I had to, I'm sorry, I just had to tell you all that, because it's been weighing heavy on my chest for a long time. And I'm sorry that I had to let y'all know that, but, thank you for listening to me.
Yeah, thank you for sharing that, Jay. We know out of tragedy came some beautiful flowers. We know that, so thank you for sharing. I have a question for PURA FE. PURA FE, your mother was Nanice Lund, and she actually performed with Duke Ellington's Sacred Concert Series. Is that right?
Yeah. Yes.
So how much of her life and her career influenced you and what you're doing today?
Well, as a kid, I was on the road a lot with her and sat through a lot of rehearsals when she was part of the orchestra. And so when I grew older, my whole family sings. We go 8 generations back through the women, through the maternal line, and they're all singers. And usually there's like 7 sisters. For 4 generations, there were 7 sisters in a row, and before that, I don't remember how many. But so that's my whole life was always singing and music. But when I got older and after my first child, and I wasn't working, and my mother says, "You need to work." So she picked up the phone and called Mercer Ellington, and sent me down to audition. So then I sang for the opening of the Duke Ellington School in D.C. That was a long time ago. Alina Horn was in the second row, and she was shouting at me to use the other mic. So
wow,
that was cool.
My gosh.
And
that would have just been cool, just because she even looked at me. That would just be cool, even if she said not a word.
Well, my microphone wasn't working. So
oh my goodness!
Go to the other mic. I didn't know who it was. And then when I went backstage, they told me that was Lena. I was like, no.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
The things that mold you.
Yeah.
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 So Emily, let me ask you something. Other than music, what is your commitment to? What are some of the things that you are committed to?
Other than music? Because music is like number one. My partner, my family, my mom is my biggest supporter. I'm committed to her. But really, everything else is like number 2 to music.
Yeah, I know. So what would you want to do, or
if I
in
wasn't
your
a
life
musician,
before you leave this earth, what is it that you would love to do or accomplish?
Say what?
What is it that you would love to do or attempt to do before you leave this world? What would you want you to be your mark that you leave behind?
That's not music related, or is music
No,
related?
whatever.
Anything. I'd love to get to meet and collaborate with some of my heroes. Like, I'm a huge fan of Brittany Howard from Alabama Shakes. I'd love to meet her. I'd love to just be able to call all the people that I admire and do shows with them or write songs with them or record with them.
Okay, all right.
Call it into existence.
There you go.
I'm working on it, you know, and I've already met so many like incredible people. Just trying to think back of all the memories of, you know, trying to pick out the most memorable memory, and it's like there's really, really too many. Like Pure Fe, you remember that crazy sound man that was at that one gig at White Horse Black Mountain? You remember that guy? Dude, oh my God. I don't know what was wrong with this guy, but we showed up like super early, and he's running around yelling at Charlie like, "Where's the stage plot? I was begging you for a stage plot weeks ago." And she's like, I have it right here in my hand. And she handed it to him, and he's like looking at it like he doesn't know how to read. And he's like, "Wait, so who's got the telly?" And none of us had a telly, so we were like, nobody. Like, Corey plays a Strat, I play PRS. Like, why are you asking this question? You don't need to know that. Just put the mic in front of the cab. But like, but you know, so he's like really mad, and he's like, "All right, well, just go hang out in the green room. I have to fix all this." And so we go in the dressing room, and then we come back out, and instead of like a full band setup like we were supposed to have, there was just 3 vocal mics across the stage. And so I guess he thought that Eulalie was the opener and we were the headliner because we just had more people in the band. But that doesn't make sense because Eulalie is obviously like much more of a legacy band. So we play our set, and I'm like, you know, we played the first song, I can't hear anything. I'm like, can you turn up my vocal? And he's like, like, and explodes, you know. So I'm like, okay, well, I'm not gonna ask you for nothing else.
No.
But so then after our set, we leave. Me and Corey leave to go get food, and we come back, and I don't hear anything. And I'm like, what in the world? Like, why haven't they started by now? And the microphones were like gone. There was no microphones anymore. Where there had been 3 vocal microphones, there wasn't. I don't know what happened, but he was like running around manically, be like, "Where's the in? Where's the out? I don't know where it's supposed to go."
Gremlins.
Yeah.
It was wild.
Or it could have been the little people.
Oh, and then he tried to take my microphone. I bring my own microphone everywhere, and he tried to put it in his thing. And I was like, that's my microphone, dude. And he's like, no, we have like 6 of those. And the owner is like, who's really infuriated at this guy at this point because he's humiliated everyone. And he's like, no, that's her microphone. He's like, I know what the inventory is. Woo! So I think that guy got fired after that.
Sean, you know, we all have goals as we get older in life, things we want to do. What would you like to do other than continue to be a great bass player and a great husband?
Oh man, you took the words right out of my mouth.
I know. I got you.
Well, one thing that we've got to do is take my beautiful wife to Japan one day. So that's on our bucket list.
Okay.
But you know, other than being a musician and you know having my love for music, it's just being a dad to my daughters, and just having a good time with them, and you know just do my best to be around as long as I can.
That's an amazing goal. You know,
yeah.
Some of us never meet our goals.
Yeah, not easy.
Mm-hmm. YUMI.
Yes, sir.
You got 2 wonderful little boys.
Oh yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
So what are your hopes for them? You know, what is it that makes you continue to tick and do what you do for your family?
Yeah, I mean, you said it right there with those two little rascals, you know, and living and just bringing them up through this world that we're in today. I guess for me, I try to walk this red path as I do, and at the same time, it's about just staying focused, being immersed in the knowledge, seeking enlightenment, so that you know, I can continue to fulfill the purpose that I've been brought to this planet for, and to you know, help my sons understand their purpose, their being, and how to you know, navigate as they walk their journey, you know, on their paths, you know, and understand you know, what they should look at and understand to know to do the right thing and be in the right place, in thought and mind and body and spirit, you know. So that's it.
Okay.
That's it. You know, I that's it.
Thank you, bro.
Mm-hmm.
Well, SEGAL, you're up next.
Joel's done everything. There's nothing left for him to do.
You know what?
Except run for president, maybe. I mean, he hasn't done that one yet.
I actually that is what I wanted to. I wanted to be the president. That was my big dream as a kid. And I'd say my dream is I really want to continue. You know, I want to make CDs. I have so much music in my mind and in my heart. I think my fellow musicians can understand this, but I literally hear music in my dreams. I hear rhythms and melodies all day long at night. And I want to play live again, because when I was with Mr. Conyers, I was playing up until I was 40. Then from 40 to 53, I was with him every weekend because I was his speechwriter. So, and all I cared about at the time was universal health. I see my nephew, Adam Siegel. Hey, Adam. How you doing, man? I want to play live again. I just, the band that I played in and the vocalist that I used to perform with in my 20s, I just called her up and I said, look, I'm 61. Let's put the band back together again. And she says, let's do it. I said, we turned it out in Charlotte when we were in our 20s. Let's do it again. Let's bring the funk back, because a lot of the music that's out now, they're not real musicians. It's a keyboard synthesizer with computers, and I don't feel that music, the new music. So I want to play again live. I want to be a musician again so badly. That's why I bought this new bass. And then from the political world, I really want to end homelessness. I want to universal health care and Medicare for all. And then race relations. This is a very difficult country to navigate when you're multiracial, and musicians are very different when it comes to race. And I wish more people could understand the way we musicians look at race. And we're more into rhythm and love and unity. But I want to do this again.
Okay. So somebody suggested, can we have a quick jam session? I don't know how we're going to do that.
You can't jam together.
Huh?
No, not together. Not together.
It won't work online. And that's what I want to do, Joel. I want to do a whole funk album and go on the road. That is my bucket list.
After I heard you perform, Pura, I kept saying to myself, please, God, let me play with her one day.
Oh,
call it into
just
being.
say when.
Yeah. You just ask the creator. So there it is. You call it.
I've never heard anyone sing like you, Pura. I used to love Flora Purim, the great Brazilian jazz singer, but I was listening to your vocals and I heard Native American music, funk, R&B, soul, gospel, but that came from deep within. But I'll get your number from Jay, because there's no reason why you and I can't perform together or record together. I really would like to perform with you. And then I'd like to get every musician in this little Zoom box to jam because all y'all can play your asses off.
And PURA FE, Mrs. North Carolina. That's home.
Okay,
for
well, I got a suggestion. Why not have these 4 or 5 funky bass players join in with PURA FE and some other people and make it happen?
Oh, that could happen.
Yeah,
it could happen.
Mm-hmm.
And we got to bring Jeff Bunn in too. Jeff Cherokee Bunn. He was not able to join us tonight, but we're thinking of you, Jeff, and we miss you, and we look forward to the next time you're in with us.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'd like to hear YUMI playing with PURA FE. I'd like to hear their vocals together because YUMI's voice is beautiful, man.
I know it. I know it.
Kind of like Marvin Gaye or something. It was blowing me away, and he was playing, you know. But I want to keep this going somehow.
That's cool. Yeah.
Well, we speak it into existence. So who wants to run a solo now? Go ahead, Joel. You got it. And then then Emily, Shawn, YUMI,
and
then we're gonna close it with PURA FE.
Here's what I'm gonna do
on her part. That's fine.
I'm just gonna play I'm gonna play for 60 seconds, but I'm a riff off Shawn's blues. You ready, Shawn? I'm gonna play blues on the bass, right, Shawn?
He can work it.
Yep, fire away.
Woohoo! Did he kill it, Shawn?
Yep, perfect, perfect.
Did he do it? All right,
Shawn.
We're gonna go to Emily, I think.
Oh,
okay.
Right.
Appalachian Vibes called you the sickest guitar angel.
Oh.
How'd that make you feel?
Oh, that warms my heart.
The sickest guitar angel.
Shout out to Amanda at Appalachian Vibes. I love her. We've been friends for a
That was
minute.
beautiful.
So who's up next?
I think we have YUMI next.
Yep.
Yummy.
Break it down, YUMI.
I got love in my tongue.
People of color. People, oh yes, we are colorful. What hue are you? You is inhuman, so black you're blue. So brown I can't see you, so dark you're gone. High, yellow like the high beams on. Brown like the earth. Roots, daughters, mothers, sons of the turf. Fathers, brothers, black like coal. Precious and beautiful, brown like soul you are. People of color. People, oh yes, we are colorful. People of color. People, oh yes, we are colorful, colorful, colorful. Yes, we are.
I can only clap with one hand. I can only snap my fingers with one hand.
That was the truth, man. That was awesome.
Well, you know what? I have got to hear another song from SHAWN, TOOTSIE. It's your thing. Do it, SHAWN. Amazing.
I love that.
Hey, Sean, this might have been before you were with Slipknot, but they had a song in 2001 called People Equal
Yeah.
SHIT. What was that about?
Yeah.
SHIT, I can't say. People equal SHIT.
That was just a cry about the attitudes that people have for each other in this world, you know, the negativity, you know, whether it be racial or just being jealous of someone else because of something they have or something they've done or didn't do, that people in general are just nasty and ugly people. So that's pretty much what that song is about. But even more so is amazing when you see thousands of people singing the chorus at once. and that is the chorus of the song, and it's repeated over and over again. So it's interesting. Yeah.
Okay. We are down to the last 12 minutes, and it's really been good. So let's start with each of you. A closing thought of a minute or less. Sean, your thought?
Well, my thought is, my first thought is that music is being slowly taken out of the schools. And some of the programs that are still lingering around, it seems like it's just another reason just to have your kids off the street. I mean, it's a good method to have your kids off the street, but it seems like it's just another way of just having a babysitter. But I think music just needs to be pumped back into the school again. Music needs to change. Like Joe said before, it's all digital now. It's all on a pad. It's all samples. You know, the live instrument, I feel, is somewhat dying, and I think everyone needs to just do their part and just kind of bring that back. You know, and I think that's what's missing in the youth today, more specifically. Yeah.
YUMI, your closing.
I guess within the music realm, I think that it's important that we keep the vibration, the energy of music happening, and on as many levels as we possibly can. just as music is changed, it remains the same. You know, there's we do need to keep inspiring the youth to play instruments. I do that with my own, but I also try to teach as much as possible. And you know, just as musicians, as artists, we need to just continue to recording. I have a few albums completed. I'm happy about that. So, you know, leaving my mark. I guess as when I was an infant, I used to crawl across the floor to my dad's guitar and strum on it before I could walk, you know. So this is something I've just done. It's just a part of me. And as I heard Joel say, I just live and breathe it all the time. I thought it's there. But it's just important that we continue to share, keep raising the vibrations, you know, the musical vibrations, you know, crystal bowls, drums, bells, you know, bring it on. Yeah. Let's do it.
Okay. My sister Emily.
I agree with both of the previous people that we need to keep the live instruments alive and keep the vibrations going. And I also want to add, enjoy the journey of the music. You know, I used to get really caught up in everything being perfect. I would get real mad if we like made mistakes on stage and that kind of thing. But I learned like that doesn't really help. It just makes it a lot worse. It makes it worse if you get mad about it. So just enjoy the journey and take each note as it comes, and try to look at, if you make a mistake, try to look at it as an opportunity, not a mistake.
A chance to move forward.
That's right.
Okay. Joel Siegel.
I want to say I love you all. Sandra, thank you for giving me a chance to do this, and Jay. But I want musicians to become more engaged in struggle and political awareness, because the 60s was all about, you know, whether it was Crosby, Stills, Nash and Young or Hendrix. Musicians, I think, are going to have to lead a lot of progressive political movements, especially climate change. We've only got about 10 years to save the planet. So 13,000 scientists were not wrong about that. That's what they're saying. We got about 10 years to go to 100% cleanable energy. I would love to see Native American musicians like PURA FE, you know, lead the effort on climate change and ending poverty. But musicians got to get back into politics and defending the people. Because people listen to musicians, music is transformative, but instead of talking about, you know, shaking the booty and all that stuff, there's nothing wrong with that, okay? But I'm just saying, let's have some substance, but let's play real music again. Let's hear some real instruments.
And become more aware of everything around you and more responsible. PURA FE.
Music heals.
PURA FE.
Yes. Yep. Yes, Jay.
Your closing thought. I never thought I'd hear you say that again. You said that in the studio when I was on the radio. Yes, Jay. So what are your closing thoughts?
Well, I mean, pretty much everyone has said what I feel. I mean, the music is what, it's what connects everything and everybody. So, and it is, I always felt that musicians are the ones to, all artists, all genres of art. It's what keeps everything alive and going and brings the truth to the table and can move mountains and so forth. So, yeah, everything everyone said, I don't think I can really add anymore.
PURA FE, we have not forgotten that you wanted to do some East Coast women's drum music.
Yeah.
We have not forgotten that. We told you we were going to help you with that, so we still want to do that.
Oh, okay.
Absolutely. Sandra, your closing thoughts.
Oh, my goodness. My heart is so full, I tell you. I can't say I started out in life thinking that knowing that I liked bass, but when I hear it, I know that I've always felt it. You know, all the music we listen to, you know, you hear that bass, and that bass is the heartbeat. It's the drum, and that's what Indigenous people and all people feel. And I tell you, these folks are all so talented, so multi-talented. And I'm just honored that you were willing to come on the show, and so happy that you shared your talent with us. And we look forward to many, many, many more events in the future.
Absolutely. You know, when I think about it, when was the first note played or sung in creation?
When's the first what?
Was it the flicker of the bird's wings across the sky?
The first note?
Yeah.
It's when you read. Oh.
Yeah. This is just my closing statement.
Jay's trying to wax poetic.
You give it a break. But on a serious note, all of you are accomplished musicians, and you play from your souls and your spirits. But I stop and think, when was the first note of music? Was it a bird chirping? Was it water running through a creek? Was it the flapping of wings? Was it the mooing of a cow? Since the beginning of time, there's been music. Some of us have been able to harness that, write it down, play it, sing it. But some of us have not been fortunate enough to understand exactly what was going on around us. Was it the beat of a drum? Was it the thump of a stick falling out of a tree and hitting a log? None of us know what it was. But I will say this to you. As our ancestors and leaders of old always said, and especially my grandfathers, it's not about the pigmentation of your skin, the color of your eyes, the texture of your hair. It's not about the clothes you wear. It's not about that deity that you pray to and address as your God. What it's really all about is how you treat my heart. That's what it's all about. So human family, wake up. Understand that we all make mistakes. And so many of us have made great accomplishments. We need to continue to help each other, because that is what the Creator put us here on this earth, this planet for, is to help one another. Not to hinder, but to help. That is the meaning of love. So I will talk to you again this Wednesday coming. And before I go, will you all agree to come back at another time?
Definitely.
Okay.
Yeah, and we're gonna, PURA FE, will you take us out? Will you close us out with another song?
Oh, sure.
So before she does that, I'll leave you in the words of Cherokee, the greeting. Kanada, Goai, Wado. And Wado in Cherokee means thank you. Thank you all.
Thank you.
PURA FE.
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you. It's nice meeting y'all. Okay. Can you hear this? Can you hear that? I'm going to just go a cappella. It's called Sacred Seed. Sacred seed, DNA, the memory of all time. Mother's twin sons recorded code creates all the circles of life. Falling seed, plant and conceive, the up and down worlds collide. Over and over come the sacred birth, the blood of sacrifice, spinning a orbit, Escanye, magnetosphere, dancing flight. Expands Turtle Island, Pangea, stand sky, woodland tree of the world, star, sun, and moon coincide, control ocean tides together. Thunder, rain, fire, and hurricane, four winds and begin forever. Within each seed is a universe, within a universe. With you and me and everything that breathes is connected to the sacred sea. Well, a sacred seed, the DNA, the memory of all time. Mother's twin sons recorded in code creates all the circles of life. Yeah. Boom, 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 boom. Hey, yeah, hey, hey. Way, way, hey, 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 way, oh, hey, hey.